let's just chalk this one up. But these kids want to go out and play. They want to go out and play hard, and you play hard against Rockwall. You make a couple of mistakes, end up losing that ball game, but you got to line it up and do it again. And it's not the toughest district in Texas for no reason.
Absolutely,
you got to come out and play.
And of course, one of your superstars, Jaden, starting to get those offers we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
So
three offers this
absolutely,
week.
That's great for him, and he's kind of making a name for himself.
Yeah. So Jaden Jones, senior wide receiver, who's been just absolutely lights out. He does go over 1,000 yards for this season after the Rockwall game. Proud of him for the things that he's accomplished, and what's awesome is to see that start to pay off with some college offers. McNeese State, Central Arkansas, University Incarnate Word, got that one yesterday. And so it's good to see Jaden start getting some action with college offers. And certainly, great kid, great work ethic. He's going to make a great collegiate athlete wherever he lands. And so it's good to see him get to have the opportunity to go on and play at the next level.
Absolutely. Those offers still going to probably continue to roll in for him as well. Billy, switch to you. We switch gears. The sky's not falling at Rockwall at the moment. A great victory over Rockwall Heat to move to 2-1 on the season. You have a North Mesquite team coming in that's struggling a little bit. Of course, the reason we are at Rockwall Ford, it's Cancer Awareness Night for Rockwall High School, so we're going to celebrate all those that have battled the disease and have beat it. And of course, we're hoping for one day we do find a cure for that. Of course, we're going to have a great tribute video as well for that at the game on Friday. But sticking with football, talk a little bit about what Rockwall needs to do to maybe not overlook North Mesquite, even though their record might show they're not as high as they've been in years past. But what does Rockwall need to do to not look past this game and maybe look ahead to what Tyler Lee brings to the table next week?
Well, we've talked about it. The teams that win the I-30 Classic seem to have a problem staying motivated or energized, or whatever you want to call it, focused the week after. Now, Rockwall didn't seem to have that problem last year. They beat North Mesquite 45-10 last year. So hopefully the same thing happens this year. And you get the game at home. We had to go to North Mesquite last year, but I think it's just, and that's what Coach Webb does well, and his whole staff does very well. Is we've seen this every year, even the years that Rockwall had the 500 record, but got the right wins to get into the playoffs. The team gets better as the season goes along, and that's what we're seeing right now, and especially the defense. And it's becoming more of a team effort, I think, as far as both sides of it, but especially on the offense, where we talked about last week's game against Heath, and it was 270 yards rushing. Actually, I think the exact numbers were 271, and so averaging 6 yards a carry. That's huge. If the running game is averaging 6 yards a carry, and Zach Henry doing an outstanding job finding the holes, getting big runs, especially near the end of the game when Rockwall could control the ball, get big chunks, take it in, and keep getting those scores to extend that lead to a 21-point lead there at the end when the game was relatively close at halftime and into the third quarter. And then Khalil Catlett coming in and doing what he's doing. And he had to take over in that first quarter for a while because Zach wasn't feeling well, and he came in and took the reins, and just under 100 yards rushing, 97 yards rushing. And so that's exactly what this team needs, and none of this happens without that offensive line. And the offensive line is really putting it together. I want to give them a shout-out again. Zalka, Haynes, Gibson, Nixon, and Joyce. Those guys are really, really doing it. They don't get much of the credit, and none of this happens without them. And so I want to give them all the pub that we can to clear the way for the running backs. And we're not seeing the big passing games from Braden Locke like we did before, but we don't need them, and that's not a part of the plan. We talk about this with Coach Webb a lot. This is a 50-50 offense, and Coach Webb has said numerous times, they look to run. We're a two-back offense, and they look to run. If the running game's there, we're going to keep doing it. And it was there this last week. They kept running, and they've been doing it the last few weeks. And if we don't need to pass for 500 yards or whatever, or keep up with somebody, we're not going to do it. And you still have I think he is all-universe Jackson Smith.
He is. That was also a very tweet.
Yeah, okay. Because you said Haynes King may be all solar system. That's area. Solar systems area.
Oh, okay.
Universe, we're going to go even outside that. But Jackson Smith still doing his thing. What an incredible game for him this last week with it looked like two carbon copies of the slant route touchdowns. And then the back shoulder fade was just an unbelievable grab. You couldn't have much better coverage than that. And the ball, great pass from Braden, and of course, Jackson grabbing it and bringing it in for a crucial touchdown there. So I think the offense, all cylinders are clicking right now. Things are going well, and you want to continue that and keep building on that. And then we flip over to the defense. they're really getting better every game.
Every week.
I mean, especially against an offense, as I mentioned before, like Heath, to do what they did against Heath and basically keep them at bay, to hold Heath to 7 points in the first half is a really good job. I thought it was crucial for Rockwall to get that field goal just before half and get that 10-point lead, get that 2-score lead back. They had it up 14-0. Heath gets the touchdown, and then they get that 2-score lead back to go into the second half was really big. And then to hang on to that, Heath gets the field goal and cuts it to a 1-score lead again. And I really think another turning point in that game was Heath with a very good, impressive drive to get down there. They don't punch it in for the touchdown. They do get the field goal. And then in 3 plays, Rockwall's back with a touchdown. And in that exchange, Rockwall gains 4 points when that was a huge momentum shift right there, I felt like, in that ball game. And so those are things that you need to do. And that's what Rockwall did. They hopefully continue to do that. And I think against the North Mesquite team, yeah, it's scary to go into the games. We saw what the Cowboys did against the Jets, and stuff like that. I don't think Rockwall ever takes anybody for granted. I think North Mesquite, they're coming in 2-4 overall. They're 0-2 in district. It's a team with their backs against the wall. They're in a similar situation as Heath, where they got to put some wins together now and see where the chips fall and see if they can get into the postseason. So they're going to be scratching and clawing and coming at you. And these are teams that are going to be throwing the kitchen sink, and they have nothing to lose as far as let's just go out there and do what we have to do to win. And those are scary games. I know that Coach Webb and his staff will have the players ready. I know the players will be ready. It's a home game. Really, it's been a really nice stretch for the Yellow Jackets to have. I know officially last week was a game they were away, but to be at Wilkerson Sanders for 3 weeks in a row has been a huge benefit to beat Horn, to beat Heath, and then hopefully beat North Mesquite if they play the way they should. Be a good streak there. And to get ready for the playoffs, you got a big game against Lee right after that, head to Tyler, and then Mesquite. So you got two big ones right at the end there too. So North Mesquite's right in there. That's a big game also. You got to keep it going.
Absolutely, you got to keep that, put that one in the win column while you can. Of course, if you are watching right now, we do have these what we call gold. And speaking of Cowboys, we do have some Cowboys news to talk about here in just a little bit as well. But we do have some gold. There are 2 home Rockwall games left. If you email me at chris.curtis@rockwallisd.org, you're going to get a parking pass for the next 2 weeks, for the next 2 home games for Rockwall, of course. So do that right now. Bring the caravan. I mean, it's free parking. It's great. You already got the parking. You're good. You're already in the stadium with the buffet. So you're good.
We have to go by the swim center now. You've moved us out.
Yeah, I don't make those rules. I just hope it just works like that. So email me, chris.curtis@rockwallisd.org, and you will have those passes for you and your family to enjoy some Jacket football here for the next 2 weeks. As the weather does get cooler, fall is, of course, here. The Cowboys do have a Sunday night football game this Sunday in Arlington. They are playing the ever-so-hated Philadelphia Eagles. If you're a Cowboy fan, if you're an Eagles fan, I'm sorry for you. But, anyways.
You've made a bad decision.
I have made a bad decision on any Philadelphia Eagle fans. But it is the battle for the NFC East, of course, and we have some special guests coming this Friday. The Sunday Night Football crew is coming. No Dak Prescott, no Carrie Underwood. I'm sorry all about all that. But the bus is coming. You'll be able to tour it starting at 6 o'clock at Wilkerson Sanders Memorial Stadium. So come out early. Enjoy the bus. You can take your picture on the Sunday Night Football set. You can see Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz jerseys hanging up. You can get a couple of freebies as well. A lot of fun for that, so we're excited to have that. And, of course, Rockwall football is going to be featured on Sunday Night Football. A few little snippets there, of course. You've seen, I'm sure, Highland Park and a few other local schools have made their presence felt. It might be 5 seconds, but it's Rockwall. It's going to be orange on Sunday night, so we're excited about that. I know, Billy, exciting for not only just Rockwall, but for the community as well.
Yeah, well, and if you see it, they do it coming back from a commercial. Yep. They'll show some plays.
It'll be quick.
It is quick, but they mention the schools. Sure. And to get that on that, we've seen Highland Park. I think they've done like Euless Trinity before and stuff like that. But this is a huge moment. Of all the high school games in the area that they picked, this one is really big. And shout out to everybody, anybody that had connections there to get that. That's outstanding.
Absolutely, and it's great for the community as well. So you don't have to come to the game. Just come to the. We want you to come to the game, but you don't have to have a ticket to go as well. So that's pretty cool.
And an offer to Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, if they want to come by our booth and get some tips, we're cool with it. They can come in.
There you go.
Can you get them a pass?
You taught Brandon Locke how to be a quarterback. You taught Jackson Smith how to catch balls. You taught Zach Henry how to run. why not teach Chris Collinsworth how to call ball
Exactly.
games?
I mean, my goodness.
That's why I'm here. I'm a teacher. I'm a
Cue ball
teacher,
consulting.
Stan. Yes.
Cue ball consulting.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
here, can I sit on the board? I'll
Yes,
just sit on the board.
You're on the board. Yeah, you're good. You're good. I thought you were going to say, you said Cowboys news. I thought Jackson got an offer from the Cowboys.
Oh, you might as well. I mean, at this point, might as well just sign
Skip
him up
college.
there. Yeah, there you go. You don't need college. There you go. But exciting for that. And, of course, Jackson's going to be honored Friday morning as well. He's getting into that All-American game. He's going to get his jersey from that. So excited about that for the teammates. He's going to mention his teammates for helping him get to where he is. That's just who Jackson is. So exciting for him as well. And we'll look forward to having him up there as well. So a lot of fun stuff happening on Friday. Of course, Rockwall Heath does travel to Longview as well. So, man, it's going to be all over the place on Friday. We're still excited. And, of course, Friday as well, we do have Cancer Awareness Night, which is going to be a special pregame ceremony starting at 7:15. So we're excited about that. Rockwall Ford has been generous to sponsor this for the third year in a row. Of course, last year's Rockwall Heath game was rained out as far as the ceremony goes. So Rockwall Heath will get this game next year. This year it does go to Rockwall. So he's now a technician as well, so that's even better. So
he does everything.
He does it all. He does it all. So
I'll get you connected.
Yeah, talk about that. Just exciting for Rockwall to have that hosting. Of course, Rockwall Ford. We're making a special video this week as well. So exciting for that as well to do that. Really to kind of talk about that and what that means to the community.
Right. Yeah. The cancer awareness and all that. That's huge to all of us because there's nobody, I don't think, that's not touched by some cancer, either personal friends or maybe yourself personally, that you have to deal with cancer and having to go through that. And if you have dealt with it yourself or with close family or friends that go through it, it's one of the most horrible things to ever have to deal with. Arranging, there's so many different things that can happen, and the treatments are sometimes as bad as the dealing with the cancer itself. So I do love that we do this and try to make it an awareness going on here, and that Rockwall Ford's involved, and that our community is involved, because we got to do everything we can to kick its tail.
Absolutely. So we're excited to have that as well. I know we're down on Twitter at the moment. I'm getting us back up right now, so bear with us just a second. Of course, we are near I-30. That always causes some problems with our connections, so we're going to get back up to it. You were going to say something?
No.
Okay. Talk a little bit about what it means. It's going to be now meaning to go to Longview. Let's get back to kind of Rockwall Heath football. I know the backs are against the wall. Yeah. We've talked about the atmosphere. Rockwall experience, what that was like a couple weeks ago. It wasn't pretty. What does Rockwall Heath need to do to flip the script and, cause one of those games that are, man, just have that perfect game? And that game, if you win that game, your season's back on.
Yeah. You capitalize on some things that went your way against Rockwall. You did protect the football. Penalties were not as big of an issue as they have been in weeks past. And so you're going to have to play excellent. You're going to have to play perfect. And to go out to Longview, that environment, to face off against a team that has not lost a district game in over 2 years now. I believe it's a 14 or 15 game district winning streak. It's a 23 game winning streak overall. It's just a special place to go, and they know that they're good. They know they're going to punch you in the mouth. They know that they've got all the momentum when you play them at their house, and so Heath's going to have to go in and try and find a way to disrupt that. We were talking about on Friday night that nobody expected the game to be 17-7 at half. Nobody. We were thinking 17-7 maybe with like 10 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Right.
But nobody expected 17-7, and so to see that game play out like it did, you got to expect that Longview's watching that film. They know what to do to that Heath defense to just grind it out, and the Heath defense has got to come out and be ready to get hit in the mouth from that big Longview offensive line, and be able to put a plug in that running game. Not giving up 291 yards or 271 yards on the ground. And so stopping that rushing offense, not giving Haynes King the opportunity to pass, getting pressure on him, which we've shown from the outside on defense that they can get pressure in the backfield. And you're going to have to disrupt an offense that works like clockwork. You're going to have to throw a wrench in it. And so be ready defensively. And then offense, you've got to eliminate the mistakes. There were 2 long post plays to Jaden that were overthrown by maybe a yard and a half, and you got to eliminate those kind of things. Those are plays that you know Jaden can outrun that secondary. He's fast enough to do it. You put the ball on the money at 7 points, and because we didn't, you're 1 score behind, and it happens again, and you're 2 scores behind, and you can't play Rockwall like that. You can't play Longview like that. So it's correcting those mistakes on offense, and then just playing clean. Plug up the holes on the offensive line. Don't let them run the ball at you, and then disrupt that offense that works so well.
And I believe Longview had the week off last week too to kind of just recover a little bit.
No, they played Horn.
They did.
Horn
last week.
Horn, and Horn played them close.
They were off 2
till
weeks
about,
ago. There you go.
Yeah, Horn played them close till about the middle of the fourth quarter. I mean, it was a 23-20 or a 30.
Oh, that's not good.
A 30-20 game at the end of the third quarter, and then. Of course, then Longview, puts the gas down or mashes the gas and puts up, 21 points, and it's a 44-30 game, 44-23 game, something like that, against Horn, a Horn team that, like I said earlier, has just been kind of Jekyll and Hyde.
Absolutely.
But Longview doing what they do. I don't know if maybe they were just dangling a little carrot in front of Horn, let them stay close for a little bit.
It was that week off.
It was
the week off.
Well, if I could, I'd like to give a quick scouting report.
Shoot.
It didn't go well for Rockwall.
Yeah.
And let me just give you some advice. Coach Spradlin, if you're watching, here's just a bit of advice. Don't let your star hurt on the first play.
I can
really
imagine.
quickly.
I can imagine. I was surprised, back to last week, I was surprised looking at the stat sheet, Corbin Cleveland leading all receivers for the Hawks this past week. And that's not something that's happened this year. Jaden has averaged about 6 catches and about 125, 130 yards a game. And just a few miscues. But having somebody like Corbin who stepped right up 129 yards and then the big score in the third quarter to bring it back within one score, or within 10 points was a big deal. But to have trouble there, connecting with your star player, we don't want to lose him, but we sure don't want him to be out of the game altogether, just because of miscues. And so it's going to be, another great atmosphere going out to the Piney Woods. The Longview folks are so nice; they'll shake your hand and then they'll just
beat you,
punch you in the face on the football field. But they sure are kind about it.
Yeah, they are. They're very good about it. We can give you some restaurants.
Was it a potluck? Was it a potluck again? Last time
it was a potluck. You had either pizza, wings, meatballs. Sandwiches.
Yep.
It was everything.
At least you're going to eat good. Yeah, that's all that matters.
It was
It's
good.
probably
It
been
was really
like that since 1960 or something like that.
And then I recommend not the week. El Sombrero Mexican food was very good there. Yeah.
All right, Heat fans, if you're traveling out to Longview,
there you go.
Time to go to El Sombrero.
It was good. Yeah.
And puppies on the way back or the way out?
I would recommend it. We didn't get puppies on the way there, and I think that affected
It's not
the
a
game.
first Monday, though, so we're
I know,
going to have to figure something out.
There's people always selling puppies at Canton. You can go find somebody.
Right.
And so Frank Constable was kind of selfish not buying us puppies on the way there. But
Unforgivable.
So we
something
lodged a
Unforgivable.
complaint.
Right.
Next year we'll make sure.
Right.
Well, actually, they're coming to us next year.
next
so.
year. Maybe.
Well, we go to Tyler.
Yeah.
So, maybe.
Yeah, they're going to be real alignment, so you never know. Could be heading back out there.
That's true.
It's going to be hard to replace Longview and Tyler Lee in the 6A, so that's all there is out there, essentially. So
Yeah.
it's you got to put them somewhere.
The rumor is Tyler Lee's going down, so they're going to go
find
down
out.
to 5A, and we'll see what happens.
Wow.
Well, that'll be good. So we'll see what happens, but of course...
So then Longview can play Louisiana, and then we'll be good.
We don't want to give up any ground in East Texas, but we could give them to Louisiana.
Why not?
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
Why not? And Billy's spilling coffee everywhere, so we're still on Twitter, so we're good. So we'll get him to clean that up later, of course. And I don't know what he's done now, but we're good.
I hit something. There we
go. You're good. No, it's all good. That's all we have covers for. So
you like black coffee on your phone? Right?
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And of course, another fun fact for Rockwall football: they moved up in the top 100 in the country, number 86. That was a cool fact, of course, this week, of course, after beating their rival Rockwall Heath. So fun times for Rockwall, of course, backs against the wall for Rockwall Heath. But you got to go with the Justin Bieber song, "Never Say Never." You can't give up.
Really?
You can't give up. I went there.
I would go with Tom Petty, "Don't Back Down."
Yeah.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
good
go
one.
with Biebs.
I'm not going with Bieber.
We're trying to go closer to the generation actually in high school right now.
Wow.
So, but of
Maybe
course,
we should introduce them to good music.
well,
You got any Wham songs?
we got country club in the background here. So another fun game this Friday, of course, is volleyball. Of course, the Lady Hawks have that 1-game lead over the Lady Jackets. Of course, that game will be held at Rockwall Heath.
Your broom's out.
So here we go. So that game is going to be more than likely for the district championship. Of course, there's a handful of games left to be played, and then we'll be going to the playoffs. We already kind of know that Rockwall and Rockwall Heath are both going to the playoffs unless something catastrophic happens. But that district championship could be locked in by the Lady Hawks if they beat Rockwall this Friday night. So that game is a 6 o'clock tip as far as that goes. So there's still time to go to the volleyball game, then get out to the football game as that kicks off at 7:30. So
and when the Lady Jackets beat the Lady Hawks, then that district championship's not sewn up.
then we have a tiebreaker, and then we have a split of that, and that happened 2 years ago.
Yes.
So that 86 game winning streak
came to an end.
It could go 2 ways. It absolutely could.
Yes.
It absolutely could.
Wishful thinking, but it could.
It absolutely could. Of course, Rockwall beat Mesquite last night 3-0, and the Lady Hawks had a tough test against number 3 ranked Prosper.
Yeah.
Very close matchup for them, but they fell in 3 straight as well. So both teams gearing up for a hopefully long postseason run. Always makes things a little more fun when volleyball is going deep as well in the playoffs too as well.
And we got to brush up on our volleyball terms.
I know it.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to
some
old
traveling
podcasts.
is in our future, of course, for volleyball for that bi-district round, of course, and hopefully we can get far in the volleyball aspect of life in the next couple of weeks. So exciting times.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and I love this time of year. You know, we joke around, but we love it. Doing the volleyball broadcast, we only get to do a couple. Hopefully, you know, it'd be cool if we did like 6.
Yeah, 6 would be great. Yeah,
but we start doing them when the playoffs roll around, and it's a really good time. Last year, got to go to Italy. You know, not the big one,
not the big,
got to go.
So Italy,
Italy,
yeah,
in the
I just
concrete dome.
Yeah, I just went across to Burton. We made it to Burton
There you
High
go.
School. That was our first round matchup.
So it's always cool to go see these Lady Jackets and Lady Hawks, and I'm telling you, it's just for those of y'all that haven't gone to watch volleyball, it's so fast paced, it's so fun. It really is, and so make a trip wherever they're going to play. More than likely, we'll be down 35 somewhere because of the bi-district round and stuff.
Right.
So they're going to find a neutral spot somewhere, and it'll be on 35. I'm assuming maybe 45, you know, somewhere around there, but
possible.
more than likely, But Italy or Hillsborough or something like that.
Right.
So make a way down there because it's really fun.
And I haven't told you guys, you got to broadcast tennis as well because we're in the playoffs for tennis as well. I'm just kidding. We're not doing tennis broadcast, but giving a shout out to our tennis teams as well. They are both
up on that.
in the bi-district matchup here for both those schools. They are in the bracket. There you go.
Tennis with a British
Let's do
accent.
breakfast.
There you go.
Wimbledon
like
thing.
Wimbledon there at the grass courts. Why not? That would be fun. But yeah, so tennis as well. Good luck to you guys. Of course, y'all play later this week, so good luck to them. So a lot of fun things happening here around the district. So obviously this Friday, big football games, big volleyball game. And so we're excited to see what happens. Guys, any final thoughts? First of all, thank you to Rockwall Ford for hosting us here. Of course, these 2 cars right here are the GTs R4.
That's not the coffee's fault.
Billy and Stan. They didn't tell you that? These 2 cars, these GTs, are just for y'all.
I want to take the black one.
Do blue.
If
you're going to give it to me, I'll take blue.
I'm just kidding. But thanks to Jeff Hicks for hosting us out here. We appreciate it. Of course, Leslie watching as well. We appreciate you guys. We'll see them on Friday night. Thank you for sponsoring this wonderful event, Cancer Awareness Night. We look forward to it every year. It's going to be something super special. I know a lot of people have someone affected by cancer. So pick up your signs in the concourse. And during the pregame, we'll get you on the video board for saying who you're fighting for or what you're fighting for. That's obviously something we're very proud of around here, and we want to find a way to beat that awful disease one day, and I think we're going to get it done here eventually. Maybe it's going to come from one of our kiddos here in Rockwall. You never know. It could be one of them that finds a cure. So you never know where it could come from or who could find the cure, but hopefully it does happen. So
I think very good odds it's a kid in the graphic design 1 class.
I mean, you never know. You never know. Just stumble upon it.
Directly impacted by Billy Clinton.
Billy Clinton has to be on there at some point. But of course, we thank everybody for joining us tonight. Guys, any final thoughts? I'm going to get you guys out early. Talk about this week and what you're looking forward to. We'll start with...
You have a date?
You got a date? You got to go somewhere?
When you're engaged, you don't have dates anymore. You don't have dates anymore. So a cameraman might. I mean, I don't know.
You are engaged.
We have to talk about the fact that your wedding is scheduled more than likely the week of the I-30.
Yeah, I talked to the athletic director about that. See if we can get that moved around.
So Chris already not making decisions. Just
look. Billy Clinton will have somebody trained up and ready to take my place for that. That's how it's going to work.
Babe, I know it's the most important week of your whole schedule for the whole year.
Right.
But we're going to get married that week.
If it makes you feel better, I'm going to have both broadcasts on and listening as we go. So
that'll go over well.
We'll make
that'll go over well.
I mean, I'm just impressed because that means now that for the rest of your life, your anniversary is going to be the I-30 Classic Week, and every milestone
that makes it even better.
You're going to be gone.
No, that's not going to happen. It's going to be one and done on that vacation, that's for sure. So, but guys, any final thoughts? We'll start with Rockwall Heat. Obviously, the backs are against the wall. Like, really, if you lose, it's going to be a very, very tough, almost improbable mountain to climb. So, make it happen.
Huge game. I mean, everybody expects it. It's one of those ones that, I hope that our guys are seeing that as, hey, this is just as important. You're not out of it yet. You can keep yourself in the playoff hunt with a win. We've seen 3-win teams get a playoff berth before out of District 11 6A, and so it's an opportunity for the Hawks to shock the world. It's an opportunity for them to get everything firing on all cylinders. If you've got to find a week to make that happen, why not be the biggest week of your season? And it's streaks are made to be broken, and why not break it this week? I mean, break that district winning streak, break the winning streak for Longview, the 23-game winning streak or 24-game winning streak, whatever it is. But the Hawks, Spradlin said it last week going into the Rockwall game. It's not about if we think you can beat them. It's do you think? Does the team think that they can beat them? And so putting all those things together, playing hard, doing the things that have to be done to beat an elite team like that. Saw glimpses of it last week, had a few miscues, a few things that, mistakes that you got to correct. And this week, is another opportunity to go out and do those same things.
And the fun thing on Twitter is you're seeing the kids, they're not done.
No.
They're not hanging them up right now. They
Not
still want to win. And the fun thing is they're saying we want to win for coach and we want to get that done. So 99 out of 100 will not pick Rockwall Heath. But nobody picked the 1980 Olympic hockey team, did they?
It's true.
So there you go.
Always comes back to hockey.
We always got to go back to hockey at some point. So
always
you never know. So the Nationals, that help you?
Okay,
no one picked the Nationals to get there.
Yeah, I'll give you
so
that.
there you go. I didn't think they were going to beat the Dodgers, and then the wild card game, and then
could go with
against St.
Rangers
Louis,
2010. That'd have been cool. Or 2011 making the World Series. A local team. That'd be.
We're not
cool.
talking about 2011. Billy, now we're all depressed. Thank you. I appreciate it.
One more.
The Dallas curse.
One more.
One more strike twice.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get down that. We're not going down that road. But of course, 9900 will not pick Rockwall Heath, but I'm going to be that one that says Rockwall Heath gets it done. We're going to get it done, and we're going to be 1-2 and right back in this thing. So Rockwall Heath, of course, 7:30. Listening to who's the head guy this week?
So Michael Parks and Shannon Rodden are going to playing.
Because you have a wedding to go to.
I do have a wedding.
So now every year long you come to town.
Yeah.
It's going to be
it's not my wedding.
I know, but I thought I'd throw it right back at you.
No,
but.
I've got a very, very dear, long time, 27-year family friend who is getting married in San Antonio this weekend. So my role as Reverend comes into play, and so I'll be officiating.
We'll allow that one.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll allow it.
We'll keep the cussing down.
Right. I won't go to the Riverwalk. If we do it, I'll be home by curfew. But young lady that I've known since she was 2 years old, and officiating her wedding. We've been friends for almost 30 years, and so a lot of fun to be able to go down and see some folks we haven't seen in a long time. And I'll be listening. We'll be driving down Friday.
So he'll have the earbuds in
I'll
for sure.
have the earbuds in. We'll be listening. Michael and Shannon are excited to be able to call the game, and it's going to be fun. Of course, I'm getting all kinds of ribbing. Like the one game you got to miss, you're going to miss this one. The furthest drive, the hardest team. And I'm like, if Heath goes out there and shocks the world and beats Longview,
the beard's going again.
You guys are the ones that get to call it. Like it's
From here on out.
It's poetic. It's poetic.
So I mean, if they win, I think the beard and the hair need to be.
There's no bets on Longview. I may let Michael talk more on the broadcast.
There you go. There you go. Of course.
But no, we'll be out, but we'll be listening and cheering on the Hawks, and I'll be playing around on Twitter and responding to folks, and we want to make sure and cheer the Hawks on even from afar. So.
Absolutely. And speaking of Rockwall, 2-1 on the season right now, heading into the Norb Skeet game. We got a winner, Miss Keats.
Okay.
Did I say that name right?
I think
Keats?
so. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you say her name.
Yeah, Gladys.
Yeah. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't say it wrong.
Yeah.
To let our broadcaster say the name the right way. So Gladys is winner
We
of
always
our
get
4.
names right.
Yeah.
100%. Gladys wins the 4 tickets in the parking pass for the Rockwall game this year, or for Rockwall versus North Mesquite, with the email that says "Love my number 95." I'll email you back here shortly and get you those tickets and tell you how to get a hold of those for this week. But 2-1 Rockwall taking on North Mesquite. You want to get that one in your pocket, of course. North Mesquite going to be thinking the same thing that he's doing. We're going to come in here and shock the world, especially with the NBC folks watching, of course, as well. So Rockwall needs to get that win and move to 3-1. Final thoughts, what they need to do to make this thing happen.
Well, Gladys is going to shout out to 95. That's Sebastian Hinojosa, who's having an outstanding season. And also, I want to mention Tyler Ashworth. I'm calling him the torpedo because all he does is fly in there and make tackles.
I called his name about 100
Too many times.
Yeah. So he's way ahead as far as tackles are concerned, as far as leading the team, and he's just something else to watch. So I want to give that defense a little bit more of a shout out. A couple things now. Who was the young lady that's getting married? What's her name?
Her name is Jonna.
Jonna.
Yep.
Okay. Myself, David Rako, David Sweet, Al Michaels, and Chris Collinsworth. We're dedicating the broadcast to Jonna.
Oh,
there you go.
The Rockwall
That's
broadcast
awesome.
is dedicated to Jonna.
I will let her know.
And a
Jonna
lifelong
and Daniel.
marriage.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're dedicating that to her. And I'm just going to tell you, it's 98 out of 100. I'm picking Heath to beat
It's
Longview.
97 out of
There you
100.
go.
Three of us sitting here.
There you go.
Come on, Curtis.
But as far as Rockwall goes, exciting time for every year. We talk about this, and it's just so fun to watch these teams, and especially this year as they keep building. And I mentioned it already, they keep getting better and better, and that's Coach Webb's goal every year. He says, as long as we keep getting better as the season goes, that doesn't necessarily mean always wins, but are we getting better? Are we putting it together? We got to get ready for that second season, for that playoff run, and it looks like this team is doing it. It's great to have Jackson back. Boy, that's fun to have him back.
That's a little flavor to your offense.
Waited a week or so for him
Yeah,
to
we're
come
like,
back.
man, you couldn't. I mean, tomorrow your shoulder couldn't feel better tomorrow.
But
we not to interrupt. Everybody, we're like, it's the I-30 Classic. It's Jackson's senior year.
Sure.
There is
No
no
way.
possible way he's missing this game. And we even said, even if he's a decoy on the other side of the field, they never throw the ball to him. He's not missing this game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but really good time of the year for us, and we're excited about it, and can't wait to get out there for the North Mesquite game. I know the Rockwall fans will be packing the stadium again and filling it up and ready to roll. And thank you to all our listeners and all those that tune in, because it's always an exciting time when Yellow Jackets football is going on. So, yeah, it's great. It's great. And as far as back to Heath, just remember, nobody gave – in fact, somebody to my right did not give Rockwall a chance in a certain game.
It was, I ate a lot of
against
crow on that one.
against the Woodlands. There's no
Against
way.
number
There's
four-
no way
number
Rockwall,
14,
number 4
yeah.
team in the state. There's no way, and Rockwall went out there and
Beat him by 9.
kicked their tail. Yeah,
And I know he's watching, but Nick and I picked that to go Rockwall's favor for
Nice.
that game as well.
Ah, shout
And
out
there's
to Nick.
there's video proof out there for that as well, just
All
in
right,
case.
there you go.
We were getting
All right.
laughed at, but there was picks out there for that as well. So
I ate
you
my
never
crow.
know.
I
You
ate
never
my
know.
crow.
Yeah,
We did.
it was 2 out of 100 for that game.
Yeah. Oh, and the Woodlands is
Somebody
just as hard
did-
to
yeah.
play at than Longview too.
I
So
believe
you
it.
never
Yeah,
know.
I
So.
believe it.
So anyway, it's fun, it's great, and I love this time of year, and I love that I'm cold right now outside because the weather's changing, and ready to roll.
It's a beautiful time of year, of course. Your fan, Yo Boy.
Oh, yeah.
From 2 weeks ago.
Cal?
Giving me a shout. Cal giving me a shout out as well.
What's
So
up,
shout
Cal?
out to Cal as well, watching as well. So we look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget, this Friday night, 7:30, both Rockwall and Rockwall Heath will take on North Mesquite for Rockwall. And of course, Rockwall Heath travels to Longview. 7:30 tip, 6 o'clock tip, 7:30 tip, 7:30 kickoff. 6 o'clock tip for Rockwall versus Rockwall Heath
Downhill.
volleyball
It's
at
downhill.
Rockwall
It is.
Heath. It's
Gotta
changing
get
of
to
the
that
season.
date.
Changing of the seasons, my friends. So, any final thoughts? It's been a great. It's been a great.
Another final.
We got our final,
Final.
and I'm going to say the final. We thank.
Final thought.
I'll
We,
say this. We
we're-
talked about beating
okay.
cancer.
Yeah.
All right, my mom kicked cancer's tail with lymphoma.
That's
and
awesome.
So I'm very proud of her.
My
There you
mom
go.
beat breast cancer.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
there
we
you
got
go.
2 signs from the fill out once we're done here. We appreciate everybody watching. Once again, thank you to Rockwall Ford for hosting us and sponsoring this week's Cancer Awareness Night. And we will talk to everybody next week. Have a great week, everybody. Don't forget,
Jack if I never dies.
Go Heath Hawks.
we'll talk to you next week.